Hey everybody, welcome back to Eternal. I'm Elvis, and today we're going to be testing all the recent balance changes in Brawl Stars. We're going to be going over all the buffs, nerfs, and reworks, so stick around to find out how the meta has shifted. First up, we're going to be going over Kenji. He got a nerf to his hypercharge, which he's no longer able to teleport anymore. It's pretty significant, but I do gotta say that after playing it for a few matches, it hasn't really affected him that much just due to his pop-off potential. It's still there. The teleport is really useful, and now that it's gone, it's gonna be like eliminating a lot of different plays. Like different scenarios are gonna change, but all in all, I think the hypercharge actually ends up still helping him a lot due to the fact that it does still pull them. It stops them from moving. It's a CC. You can still chain it. Like I played some matches and I was able to chain Kenji pretty well, as you'll see in the video. I mean, yeah, Kenji didn't really change much. It's more like interactions have changed. Next up, we're going to be going over Olli. Olli, he got a nerf to his hypercharge. He's no longer able to jump over walls with it. It's a pretty significant change, I would say, but the problem is Olli can still jump with his gadget. And another thing is he's able to still have that same dash range. It's not as big as before, but it's still the same as his normal super at least. And the super radius is still huge. There's nothing changed about the super radius, which is insane. He's still able to hit two people with it most of the time. And you'll see in here, I end up getting supered by the Cord, which is still one of his big counters. Cord and Charlie do counter him pretty well. And the one thing is that Ollie's good even without the hyper. Before he even got the hyper, he was a decent brawler, and with it now, it's just mostly the stat boost. You get the speed and you can close distance real well. You already have the super to close distance along with that jump gadget or with his other gadget that pulls him in towards you. So you're just still closing distance very well as a tank. It's not going to be very effective towards him with this nerf. Next up, we're going to be going up with Mina. She is doing less damage on her third attack, which it's a decent nerf. Problem is she's still doing 4,800 with her damage gear, which is still a massive amount of damage. It's going to be very tough to take down Mina still. She still gets the heals, and yeah, sure, her super gets charged a little bit less, but she still has that gadget, man. That gadget just gives her an instant super. So hey, man, you get your super, you're still gonna get a team wipe or a free kill. Like, it's not gonna matter. Another thing we gotta take note of is that Mina heals less due to the damage reduction of her third attack, so she won't be healing as much, but it's still pretty significant. And I think you know, she's not gonna be impacted much in meta, especially with her new hypercharge. Her new hypercharge is completely busted and should get emergency nerfed, or I mean at least changed before Worlds. There's no way they're gonna let this go into Worlds without a nerf. We're gonna be talking about Lumi next. She got a nerf to her unload speed for both of her morning stars, which means she is gonna be doing less damage on DPS wise, but the thing is she's still able to retract it pretty quickly, and it's gonna be good against tanks, assassins. Still, she's not gonna be able to struggle that much, especially with the assassins getting a little bit nerfs from their hypercharges, only giving them a little bit of stat boost compared to before. And yeah, she's not gonna change much. You can see here that she's still able to just completely steamroll and hold position. I mean, yes, it does matter about who you go against, but at the same time, it's Lumi. Lumi's gonna be pretty good still. She holds position really well, and you know, unloading her morning stars wasn't a big problem for her, and I don't think it's gonna be a big problem for her now at all either. Alright, so recently Jae-Young was actually reworked. So what happened was his damage gadget got a nerf to the damage that it does on impact along with activating it and the normal attack. And he also got a buff to his slow gadget, which now slows 10% extra, along with slowing for a longer period of time. I actually like the slow gadget a lot now with this change, because you do get a little bit more value from the slow. I mean, it's a gadget compared to his damage one. Yeah, sure, you're not gonna get that damage, but it's actually pretty decent. It keeps you alive a little bit longer, and you're able to speed away when you activate your super again. So it's actually not that bad. I do want to take note that the damage gadget actually does significant less. It does like 200 damage less. It's actually changing a couple interactions with some brawlers, which, I mean, yeah, you're gonna have to be careful now with Jae-Young. You can't really go in, get a few taps and get a kill on like a Willow or a Rico anymore. You gotta chip him down beforehand. They've gotta be low already, but he's still gonna be pretty valuable. He's a healer, he's a support. He's not a damage guy, right? He can be a damage guy, but he's still a support. He has a support hypercharge, and he's gonna be still broken with some comps here. I expect him to do real good at Worlds, along with, I mean, in ranked if you draft him pretty much anywhere. Alright, next up here, we're gonna be going with Trunk. He got a buff to his center attack damage, which was actually pretty nice. It helps him with brawlers that can just pretty much move to the center of his attack, kind of make him do less damage. His hyper helps him still. The hypercharge changed. Yeah, it's a little bit bad for him because the damage reduction's gone, but he does get that speed boost, which is real beneficial for him. He's got to close the distance pretty well. The buff was actually pretty decent for him. I think it was very needed. Along with, I mean, he does have that tank trait, so he's able to charge super pretty well. And yeah, he's just gonna be that one of those brawlers that you gotta watch out for in draft. He can be a really good, dangerous last pick. You can see as in LCQ, Sergeant took Trunk and just completely steamrolled Inner Circle. I mean, it was insane to watch that happen. And by the way, that was his first time playing Trunk. I mean, dude, this guy's insane. But anyways, back to the video, right? Trunk, he's gonna be pretty good. I don't expect too much of a meta shift with him, but he's definitely gonna be a last pick that's gonna be pretty dangerous for some drafts. Next up, we're gonna be looking at Kaze. Kaze actually got a nerf to her hypercharge rate. It's actually pretty significant on the rate, but I don't know, it's not gonna really affect her. She's more of a skill-based brawler, so you're not gonna see much of a difference. It's more based on who's playing her, right? It's the player, not the brawler. So she's really good like into tanks. I mean, she's really good into pretty much anything. You don't want to play her into some brawlers, but one thing you want to take note of is that if you're a good Kaze, this hypercharge rate does not affect you. You save your hypercharge anyways because you're saving it for like the last second bounty kill that instantly gets the kill because they're low health. And I mean, other than that, you don't really need your hypercharge to do much damage. You get some situation in hot zone where you do a little bit more damage, right? But it's not going to be as effective. Yeah, it's not going to change much interactions. I think one thing at the start, you're not going to get your hypercharge, of course, right? But it's not going to be that effective. It's really not. It's a basic hypercharge rate nerf. She's still going to be chosen a lot in the pro ranks along with even masters. And, you know, you can see her in legendary as well. She's a good heist brawler just for the extra safe damage. And the hypercharge really doesn't help as much. You're still going to get that free shield off of the save. Next up, unfortunately, Primo did get a rework. I would actually say it didn't really affect him at all. He gets a bit of a nerf on his super recharge rate off of his super, so when he does use his super on a brawler, he's not going to get as much super back, but in return, he's getting a buff, which gives him more super when he's attacking. So, I mean, it's a pretty good trade-off. I'd say you do charge your super pretty well when you jump in still, so it's not going to be that much of a difference. He's not going to really change anywhere. He's still kind of a trash brawler in my opinion. Like, his hypercharge is completely useless, I'd say. It doesn't really do much. It's the same CC. If anything, it makes the punches worse. Plus, you don't get that tank damage anymore, the damage reduction along with the damage increase. So it's not going to be as much of a difference. Primo's still trash in this meta. Hopefully we can see an uprise of Primo, but as of now, probably not. It's just given that he's pretty strong in the lower ranks, they're probably not going to buff him. It's really hard to buff a brawler like that. Next up, we're going to be going with Gail. Gail actually got a buff. I love it, but what is it really? He's going to get his super more often, and actually, he might actually be a good brawler now, because just given that this is assassin-based meta, they're releasing so many assassins, they're pushing for assassins to do real good in this meta. Gail's good into assassins. You push him back, you can stun him, you can slow him down, you have your gadget. His kit is built around countering assassins and tanks. You can see in these clips, I'm just completely cooking this El Primo who thinks this rework is so good for him, but it's really not because I'm just able to charge super. I'm getting it so much more frequently than before. I do not get hypercharges frequently, which I do charge it basically almost twice in this whole match. We do go to overtime, but I do get it once. It's actually not bad. One thing I gotta take note of, you don't want to use it for Gale on this map. You know, the Dynamite should be cooking me right now, but he's not. I'll take what I can get. He's very draft dependent, I'd say, because you can't just play Gale anywhere. You're gonna get steamrolled if you play Gale into like longer range brawlers that you can't really push back because they don't need to be pushed back. They're not rushing in on you. They're not trying to close the distance, right? You can go good against a Primo or any close range brawler, assassin. You're gonna be able to do that pretty well. His super is really good for that. You can always hold his super until one goes in you. Oh, whoa, pause. Until one goes in on you, and it's pretty much wraps. But yeah, Gale's gonna be actually pretty good. I still don't think he's gonna be too good in the meta, but he's not the worst brawler in the game anymore. Because he was. Last season, he was. Last meta, he was. Because he just had such a low win rate, and he could not win for nothing. Alright, next brawler we're going to go with is Mr. P. He did get a nerf to his super charge rate, which I think is going to be pretty significant to him, given that his super is very important in this meta. You go in bounty, and he's actually a decent brawler in the higher level, along with the mid-range level, but he was actually kind of dominating mid-range because most people go hyper and single-shot brawlers that cannot pierce his porters, and that's going to be real dangerous against a Mr. P, right? And now that he's charging his super a bit less, it's going to be pretty impactful, I'd say. He still gets his super. Like, eventually, if you charge his super, he's going to still dominate. into those snipers, but you can stay away and keep your distance. He might not get his super as much. You never know, you could win that matchup. It's going to be more of a skill cap to him, I'd say, just in charging his super in general. You can't get it as easy as before, but hey, it's Mr. P. He's good into snipers. He's match dependent, right? Along with map dependent, I'd say you can't just play him on a map where you know that brawlers are going to be high DPS, but bounty, knockout, he's still pretty decent. The modes that he's played in, you can charge your hyper charge eventually, and it's pretty game breaking because you don't only need it for the last few seconds of the game, right? You can come back at any moment in bounty, as long as you don't get steamrolled in the beginning. Next up on the buffs list, we got Poco, my favorite brawler. I gotta go ahead and say, dude, Poco's back in the meta. Definitely not biased at all. He got a healing buff to his Da Capo star powers, actually pretty well. One thing though, and it's unfortunate, is that in this meta, Screeching Solo is just the only right option. You're going into assassins and tanks, you're gonna need those extra damage because you don't do enough damage as a Poco. You do, what, 1,500 per attack. That's 4,500 total in a full ammo bar. I mean, that's insane. You're not gonna be able to do much against assassins. What, you're gonna do good against maybe a Tara because that's a good draft, but other than that, you're not gonna be able to do anything, especially with the new BB rework. And I mean, you've got Kit, Kenji, you got all these brawlers that can close the distance pretty well on you, and you're not able to do much. But yeah, the healing is actually not bad, especially with tanks being chosen a lot more often this meta, like Olli can help out. I do think one thing though is that when you're using Poco, you're gonna draft him towards the end of the draft. It's gonna be a last pick. Very good into Lou, Amber, Byron, brawlers like that that do the poison damage or fire damage that you can use your other gadget for, the Protective Tunes gadget. It's gonna be real good. One problem is that you're using that gadget, you're probably forced into using the healing star power, which is good because now he has the buff. So maybe we'll see a change in Poco, but for now I don't think he's gonna be that impactful in the meta. Next up we got Penny. I think Penny's gonna be pretty decent. It's not gonna be big of an impact for her, but now with less assassins ruling the meta, it's gonna be kind of easier for her to be chosen. She could be a decent last pick. There's some scenarios where you could choose Penny. She's not gonna be the best brawler, and there's a lot of different sharpshooters and control brawlers that you could use and replace for her, but the attack speed buff is pretty nice. It'll help on heist a little bit. It's not that significant though. I don't expect a change in her gameplay whatsoever. Alright, next up we got the Colette buff. It's an HP buff. It's not that significant, but I think it's actually gonna change a few key interactions for her. She does struggle against those longer range brawlers with lower HP. She can't really deal that significant damage. It'll be kind of good. You can see her a little bit more on heist for that hypercharge super on the safe, but other than that, you're not gonna see her much in really other modes. You could see her maybe brawl ball if you do have an aggressive comp against you. Other than that, Colette's not going to be that much of a difference. It's a good buff, and hopefully she does see an increase in win rate, but other than that, she's not going to be seeing that much of a difference in this meta. Next up we got Cordelius. He's got a nerf to his star power, combo shrooms. He's going to be doing a little bit less damage with that. His other star power is still good, so if you do see a decrease in this win rate with his star power, you can always switch over. His other star power places mushrooms throughout the map in his shadow realm, and he'll be able to heal off those, so it's actually pretty decent for when you're low HP. The combo shroom star power though is still pretty good. It helps him with tanks, but other than that, he's still doing massive damage. The damage buff that he received a few months ago actually did real well for him, so this is going to be pretty significant. So this isn't going to be impacting him much. He's going to still be pretty well in this meta. You're still going to see Kenjis and Ollies, so he's going to be able to shut those down pretty easily, especially with Ashe being pretty well known in this meta now due to that HP buff. He's going to pretty much be able to shut down Ashe, especially with the combo streams. He'll still be able to kill him. Next up we got Melody. Melody got a HP buff, which is actually pretty decent for her, but I do think that she's going to be needing a little bit more, especially to her attack damage. Her note damage is still decent, but the attack damage and probably even the shield gadget and maybe even a rework to her, I just don't see her being viable in this meta. There's just not really room for her, to be honest. With the brawlers, it's more like control based, but at the same time you could see her on heist, which actually she would be a little bit better on heist due to that HP buff, but other than that, it's gonna be pretty hard for her to compete within other modes. It's sort of like a Chuck problem, right? He's more like a heist brawler, and that's all you see him in. Well, probably the same thing here for Melody. Maybe gem grab, but other than that, Melody's not gonna be that well within this meta. even with the HP buff. Alright, next up we're gonna go to Sam. Sam got a buff, actually pretty significant. I think he's gonna be pretty good in the meta now. He got a buff to his damage without the knuckles and along with his super charge rate. Pretty good. I mean, he gets his super in 8 shots now, which is pretty good. If you lose your super, you're gonna be able to get it faster. It's gonna save you an ammo slot, and along with the fact that, I mean, his hyper, it's really good hyper, and if you can get that hyper, it's pretty much GG's for most people, because you're gonna be able to team wipe. And I mean, if it goes to overtime brawl and you have that hyper, you are free reign to just auto aim the hell out of people. This guy, Sam, not a lot of people main him, but the mains that do main him are really good with him. So we're gonna be able to see probably a change in Sam players, and there might be a little bit more Sam players. You're gonna see people like Rafiki on that Sam a little bit more often in matcharinos and whatnot. But yeah, Sam, I love him. He's a good brawler, and he's doing well in the meta now. Another buff that happened in this meta, I mean, there's a lot of buffs, right? But Edgar actually got a buff to both his star powers, fisticuffs and hard landing. So he's gonna be able to do more healing from his second star power and then more damage on impact with his first star power. It's actually a pretty decent buff. Only problem is it's Edgar, and they can't really buff him that much because he's good in those lower ranks, and along with the fact that it is also Edgar and he's really easy to counter pick, it doesn't really matter about his star powers really. It's gonna give him a little bit more survivability and easier to kill those lower health brawlers with that first star power. But at the same time, if you go into a Jackie, it's not gonna matter, right? If you outdraft an Edgar, you can't just first pick him, right? Maybe a last pick, right? A lot of people underestimate the last pick Edgar. It can do real well, so just watch out for that, because he's gonna be doing even better now with those star power buffs. Another brawler got buffed. Yes, another one. Rosa. Rosa actually got buffed with her first star power, healing inside of bushes. I think it'll be pretty decent with the bushy maps, but that being said, it's still Rosa, right? It's not much of a change, and it'll be good for those bushy maps, but if you get counter picked like an Amber, you're pretty much cooked. You might not want to go into those people who destroy bushes. She's probably gonna have to use her gadget, which gives her those slowdowns still in the bushes, because it's really needed. She can't really close the distance that well in this meta, and there's a lot of people who can just run away from her easily, especially like people like Mina. Mina can just dash away easily. She's out of attack range. She can't really close that distance as well. But yeah, that buff, not that bad, but it's just not enough for her to even be viable in the meta right now. Man, I wish she was better, but she's not. Next up, we got an Ashe buff. Ashe got an HP buff, which is actually really good, and Ashe is gonna be in this meta now. He's actually kind of crazy. The first gadget got a buff, chill pills, and I think the buff to his gadget is gonna give him a lot more versatility. He's gonna be surviving a lot longer, let's just say. And I mean, his hyper's alright. It's actually pretty decent to brawlers like single shot brawlers, because they can't even destroy all the rats. If they don't pierce, they're cooked. And brawlers that can't even attack brawlers, they have to like use their like dash. It'll be like Mina and Mortis. I mean, Ashe is pretty good into them. Only problem is you see that Mina tornado coming towards you, you're pretty much cooked. But other than that, Ashe is pretty good. I like to see him this meta, and he's gonna be pretty decent. Next up, we got a Nani buff. She's able to now one-shot brawlers with those shield gears. Actually, pretty cool interaction now. Piper with shield gears able to die to Nani super now at max range, which is actually real important, because Nani, she's a counter into those snipers, right? So she's able to outrange them, and now she's able to one-shot them with that super. So it's gonna be real viable. I think Nani's gonna be back in the meta. I mean, she was already pretty good with a counter pick to snipers, but now she's able to just completely wipe out those snipers. So it's pretty decent. Nani's very low health brawler, but she's able to dish out so much damage, and with his damage buff, I mean, dude, she's gonna be absolutely crazy. Also mentioned, she did get a damage buff to her attack as well. It's not just super on that star power. She's doing so much damage now. She might even be good on heist. Joking. Another buff in the game, we got Max. Max actually got a hypercharge rate buff. Actually real good. She's taken 10 less shots to get hypercharge, which is actually pretty decent. I think that's 2 full attacks. But at the same time, you're not hitting every attack. So real good for her, because she relies on the hypercharge to just support her team real well, giving them supers, giving them speed. It's really good. And if you compare it up with some of these very broken brawlers, she's gonna be like a second Jae-Young, right? She's gonna be able to get in there. If Jae-Young gets banned, you need a support for your team. If you're going for a certain comp, you just choose Max, you're good, because she can give him that speed, she can give him that super real well. And another buff that she got, because it was actually 2, her gadget Sneaky Sneakers cooldown went from 10 seconds to 8. 8 seconds, not that bad. Sneaky Sneakers is the teleport gadget. It's not good. You're gonna use the dash gadget most of the time. It keeps her immune too, so it's pretty well. But yeah, that gadget is real well, and I think 2-second buff, pretty well. We'll see how Max will turn out. She's a really good support now. I think with that hypercharge buff, she can take over the meta now. She'll be a backup pick for Jae-Young if he gets banned. Other than that, Jae-Young's still better, I'd say, even with the nerfs, because he's still able to give healing and speed, which is just completely insane. Whatever you need, he's got it. And that hypercharge as well is actually real well. Is real broken. Alright, Maisy got an HP buff, pretty small, but I don't think it's be too much significant. I think the main thing is that brawlers now are all balanced because they're getting less of their hypercharge value. They don't have that buff to damage reduction. I mean, there's a lot of power creep on Maisy because of the fact that she lost that recharge with her hypercharge, because she's able to just completely change supers over and over again and hypercharges. She doesn't have that, but the HP buff and the damage nerf to the hypercharge is going to help her out a lot. Shouldn't be maybe some good picks here, but I don't think she's not going to change that much in the meta. I love Maisy, but I wish she was better, bro. She used to be at Prime, bro. Prime Maisy, bro. I was cooking. I can still cook on Maisy, though. Su got a buff to his hypercharge. He's able to charge it way faster now. 6 less shots. So, I mean, it's 2 shots per ammo, right? But 6 less shots means it's 3 less ammo. It's actually real well for Stu. He's constantly picking at the enemy, so he's gonna be able to charge that super. He's gonna be able to charge that hyper super real well. I think one thing to take note of is that Stu, he's actually pretty good, and a lot of people underrate him, especially on certain maps. And now with this hypercharge buff, he's able to close the distance real well. He's gonna be able to pop off on a lot of brawlers that are lower HP, break the wall, get through, and easily get a team wipe if he really does well enough. Yeah, Bonnie's hypercharge rate got nerfed along with her supercharge rate. It's actually real hard to get her super and hyper super, but one thing, still a good hyper, and she did lose a lot of potential now. But you also gotta take note that it's Bonnie's hyper, it still stuns. If she gets it, you are cooked. She jumps in, she can get a full team wipe, she can get a full kill on anyone she wants. So in Bounty, if you have 7 stars, you better watch out. You better not charge that hyper Bonnie, because Bonnie with the hyper is real dangerous. One thing though is, one way to counter her is you don't charge that super. And it was actually working pretty decently within the meta before this nerf, and now with the nerf it might be even easier. We're gonna have to see how it pans out in pro play, but along with that, Bonnie, she kind of lost her potential within the meta, but she'll still be able to be a decent pick into brawlers that she's good with. Maybe not the best mid anymore, but we'll see. Still decent in Bounty, knockout, you know, the usual. Next up, we got Draco. Draco got enough to his damage on his super, and along with his extra movement speed. So he's gonna be doing less damage, and he's not gonna be able to close the distance as much as he used to. One thing also though is that Draco, once he's in range, that movement speed, you're still getting the good movement speed. You're not going to get out of range of a Draco. So once he's in range and is able to pop his super, you're still cooked. You're not able to run away as much. Sure, he's slower than before, but he still has a movement speed buff when he uses his super. It's still really good, but he's still outputting so much damage that the damage nerf doesn't matter. It just means that he kills you in an extra second, which he's still going to kill you. If you can get him down in time, sure, but he still gets to pop that gadget and survive an extra 2 seconds, which is kind of insane. And we'll see how Draco pans out, but I still think he's going to be pretty good in the meta. You're going to be able to counter him pretty well, but at the same time, it's real hard to go against a Draco, especially at lower levels, because he's able to just walk through a lot of people. I mean, you feed supers a lot at lower levels, right? So if you feed the super, it's not going to matter, right? With the super got nerfed, but it doesn't matter. It's still really good. It's not going to infect him as much. They got to nerf the damage a little bit more before even thinking about saying him as one of those brawlers with a useless super. Tara got reworked, so she got a buff to her super charge rate from her supers, but she also got a nerf to her super charge rate from her attacks. So it takes a little bit more attacks to get her super at first. She's able to restack those supers over and over again if she's able to hit a super. If she can hit 2 people, it's even easier, right? She gets a 25% super back from each super hit, right? So if she hits 2 people, she gets half her super back. And one thing to take note of is, right, if you throw a Tara super, you're getting those attacks after too. So it's going to be able to stack up. She might have better pop-off play potential. She might stack even 3 hyper supers, but if they even survive to the end, right, she's gonna be pretty well on that rework. One thing also though is that nerf to her attacks charging her super is gonna hurt, because it takes a while to get her super at first, but if you are able to save it and get it by the end of gem grab, you're able to just pull in, get a hyper pull. You're gonna be able to get a team wipe, 10 gems, whatever it is you seek. You're gonna be able to get it with Tara with that hyper super, and you're gonna be able to change it even better. Next up, we got Surge. Surge got a buff up to his gadget, he's able to reload it quicker, 15 to 13 seconds now. So he's able to pop his gadget, the power surge gadget, which upgrades him for a certain duration of time. Pretty good. And Surge here, he's not really one of those brawlers gonna be good in the meta right now, but later on we could see a shift, right? And if it does come to a more control based meta, he's gonna be pretty good. And I think that this gadget change will have to be reverted eventually, if he gets in the meta again, right? Next up is Byron. He got nerfed for his hypercharge. It's pretty decent actually. One thing you know from the previous meta is that his hypercharge was getting charged way too frequently. He's able to have it almost every game at least 2 to 3 times, and now I assume it's gonna be 1 to 2 times now, 2 times per max. Pretty decent nerf, and he's still able to get the hypercharge though. It could be a game-changing hypercharge, but most people still use it for healing, and it's kind of needed. So we'll see how this impacts him, but it's not gonna be that much of a big deal for him. He's still able to team wipe, still able to get those good clips. All right, Pearl also got a buff. I actually really like it. It's a faster regen of heat, so 8% increase. It's actually pretty decent. So basically what happens is when you stop attacking, your heat bar reloads a little bit more faster. So it's pretty viable. It's gonna help her get to max heat pretty much more quick, along with keep her shield open with her star power. I think that her hypercharge is just completely useless, right? You have a useless hypercharge, you're still gonna struggle, right? But she's getting better. Eventually she'll be back in the meta. We'll see. She's decent into some brawlers and some maps, but for now she's still staying at the bottom of the meta, I assume, based on the gameplay. Kid got a nerf to his hypercharge, gadget, and supercharge, so he's gonna be dropping a little bit. He's still Kit though, right? I mean, he's gonna get his super a lot less. It's one less attack, but at the same time, that one attack is actually real significant. It's really hard to get attacks with Kit, especially in the close range, and now that his gadget is now nerfed 3 seconds, it's gonna be even harder now to even get close range. To get his hypercharge, it's gonna be even worse. He's gonna be charging it as frequent as Byron now. Hypercharge is gonna be real hard to charge for him. I think you're still gonna get it at least once a game, but at the same time, you're gonna be probably not as good of a KD as before. Sometimes you have to sacrifice yourself to get your super, and now you're gonna have to do that more frequently, which means you're gonna die more. It's gonna be pretty impactful for your team, or you're gonna leave yourself in a 3v2 situation for your teammates. So it might not be as good, but it's still Kit. Kit's able to stun with his hyper, which is broken. He's able to charge it real well still. Yes, one extra attack, sure, whatever, but it's still stun. You can get the extra attack and chain it even more. Kit's gonna drop a little bit. You might not see as much of him, but you might still see a decent amount of Kit. Alright, that's gonna be it for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions for anything that we missed, or any guides that we need, anything that you want to see within future videos, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to join our Discord. It'll be linked in this description. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Subscribe.